Nothing better than the sound of a nice cold soda. Really going for drama here, guys. So welcome back to my channel. It's been a hot minute for me, at least. I know you guys probably only saw this last week, but I think I'm going to be reviewing 2 full weeks of information, or at least some stories that I've experienced over the last couple of weeks. So before we get into the macros, nutrition and training stuff, I'll do some housekeeping things. So we'll start with absolutely, and this is by far the most important thing that I'll ever do in my entire life, and that is share with you our new clothing range. It's a huge range. We have some whopping 2 different t-shirts and 2 different jumpers, just one jumper for men and women. If you guys want to support us, I joked the other day, I made a post on social media and I said, Lane and I are quitting the fitness industry. We're done. This is it. Clothing apparel is where it's at. And I kid you not, I'm going through the comments and I must have had like 100 people like, are you leaving? Are you serious? I'm like, no, dang it. Because no one knows that I'm a sarcastic person. I guess because everything that I put on, at least Instagram, it's usually pretty like straight down the line, not a lot of humor, education. So like I put something up like that and everyone's like, taking me seriously. So anyway, we actually ordered all of these BioLane clothing apparel back for the Arnolds in 2020, which was cancelled because of COVID. So we have these really cute t-shirts. They're fitted t-shirts for women, obviously nice and jack-like for men, I guess, and some really nice hoodies. So if you are interested in getting some of those, you can get them at the BioLane store. I feel like the women's hoodies have already sold out, but hey, you can go and check it out and support us in any way you like. The second housekeeping thing is Carbon Diet Coach. Obviously, it is the feature of these videos. We are having our 1-year anniversary. So in light of all that, we're going to be running a contest, which is Transform with Carbon. So it's basically our way of saying thank you to everybody that has used the app over the last 12 months. So the competition basically requires you guys to share your transformation. So if you'd like to enter, all you need to do is put up a post on your feed. So not just a story, but an actual post on your Instagram feed with your transformation, all of your data. So your starting date, starting weight, end date, photos, all of that good stuff. There's actually a post on my Instagram where you can find out all the specifics to enter, and then you just tag a bunch of people so we can find your photo. Most importantly, we're going to be giving away 10 lifetime subscriptions to the app. So you will basically never need a coach ever again until the app continues to go. So that's really exciting. We're giving away 5 to our most impressive fat loss transformation, and 5 to our most impressive reverse dieters or muscle gainers. So it's not just one of those competitions where you can only really win if you're losing weight. We're not about that. We recognize that people really need to be specific with their goals in order to achieve their long-term goals. So we wanted to be able to include everybody in that. So reverse dieters, muscle gainers, you are in with a shot with this one too. So please post your transformations. So housekeeping stuff done and dusted. Clothing, obviously the most important thing of today's talk. And then the 1-year anniversary. Looking back to the last couple of weeks, I think we had Easter in there. I don't think I've talked about Easter this week. And that actually really stirred up quite a lot of, I guess, angst and fear. Feelings that I haven't felt in a long time. I'm thinking like throwback to prep days. So I really want to share this with you because I know there's a lot of people that may have suffered with disordered relationship with food or dysfunctional thoughts about food. Maybe you've had an eating disorder or something of that nature and you've been working on it and you feel like you're doing really, really well and it hasn't been an issue for a little while. And that's certainly how I've felt since kind of coming out of my shows in 2019. And then I don't know what it was about this weekend. It was just like, whether it was the specific foods that were around or the abundance, perhaps. I feel like maybe now that I'm like self-reflecting, truly as we speak, I'm self-reflecting. I think it might have been the abundance of high calorie foods that really made me feel a bit anxious. A couple of things happened before Easter, and I think it's relevant to share this because they do kind of interfere with your ability to apply cognitive restraint and kind of action a little bit of self-discipline. So Teresa, one of our coaches and my best friend here in Florida, she was competing in Orlando on the weekend or the night before Easter. So I drove down really late on Friday evening, and I don't think I got down there until about 10 o'clock. So I was really exhausted after a big day at work on Friday. And then it was a really early start. I was kind of out of my groove, on the show morning, like you're kind of going down, getting tickets to the events. Then I was kind of, going to the gym, making sure she's good, talking her through like meals. So, then I kind of did my routine a little bit out of the ordinary. Like I didn't start training till a lot later in the morning. So my first meal consequently was kind of delayed. So I could already feel myself kind of getting a little bit hungry and just tired. So there was that. And then show day is a really long day. Teresa did great. It was her first show back in over 12 months. So definitely the first show is one that you're kind of shaking off the cobwebs, trying to get into, get your mind back in the game, so to speak. So again, by the time that day got done, and I wasn't really eating the normal foods that I eat consistently throughout the day, because you're in a venue, a convention center, and they just don't have a huge amount of option. And again, if I was better planned and better organized, probably could have taken something or like snuck out and grabbed a more satiating meal. So I ended up only having one meal at breakfast, and then I knew that she wanted to go out for dinner after the show. So I kind of just held off, and the show was delayed and delayed and delayed. So we didn't go to dinner until about 9:30. We got to the restaurant. So like at that point, I'm ravenous, like so hungry, obviously really tired. It's just a big day, you've got to be there, present to support. So yeah, I think we had dinner, like we were finishing up and she'd ordered a few desserts, and I was very proud of myself. Actually, I didn't opt for the desserts because I knew, on Easter Sunday we were going to be doing Easter egg hunts with the kids, and we had the lunch booked out. So I was like, you know what? I think, I'll appreciate that more if I don't have any desserts or anything tonight. I didn't drive home because I had to be the Easter bunny on Sunday morning. I drove home at like midnight on Saturday. So I got home just after 1, and I was so fatigued. Sunday morning for Easter, we kind of put all the eggs out, and even within the first couple of hours of being awake and up with the kids, I'm just already picking, just snacking, totally mindlessly, because I'm so fried from fatigue. So I think, again, just to reiterate just how important sleep is for you to be able to kind of action that self-discipline. I could feel myself slipping away, and I kind of said to Lane, I was like, you know what? I reckon if I keep going, I'm probably going to get a tummy ache. So let's put them out of sight. And same for the kids. You don't want the kids having a stomach ache when they're out for dinner. So we put them away. That was all good. We took a couple to give to the friends that we're meeting with. And then I made pretty good choices at the restaurant that we went to. So we went down to a place called Salt Shack, which is right on the beach. Beautiful spot here in Tampa. And met friends, made good decisions, had, I think, one drink on Easter. But then at the end of the day, after getting the kids down, again, it's like that fatigue had set in. So it's just like all your willpower to say no has just gone. And I'm just looking at these damn chocolates sitting on the counter, I'm just oh God, I just want another one. And so I had a couple, and then I'd at that point, I was already over my targets, and I'd already allowed for a higher day. And I think it was almost like I hadn't felt that tired in such a long time. It was like PTSD from prep, truly. I don't feel like I've felt that tired in a long time. Yeah, I think I just picked a couple more, and they were the really dense, Reese's ones. So by the end of the day, or end of the night, I think I'd had close to 3,000 calories, which it's not that much really, but it's a lot over my maintenance calories. So, that's a good 1,000 calories over what my normal requirements are. And I really struggled psychologically with that. So I think I went to bed very anxious, and then I knew I had a really busy day, and how am I going to rectify this? That was the first thought. I was how can I make up, or how can I compensate for having such high calories? I am really proud of myself, because how I felt throughout the week was definitely similar to prep, as far as, oh my God, my weight's gone up. And we'll have a look. You can see my weight went up to closer to 70 kilos again, which is a while since I've seen that number. And I really had to do some inner searching. The first thing that I really wanted to talk about was, the fear of gaining weight. And the most important thing, I think, in being able to overcome that is kind of understanding why you fear it in the first place. And usually most of us associate, a certain number on the scale or a certain body composition or how we look either with like our success or our happiness or our like beauty or our worthiness or even like likability to, other people around us. Like, oh, if you're this weight, you look this way, people will like me more. So, everyone associates their weight with different things. And I think for me, it's probably tied to like my credibility or my success in business. I think for a very long time, like I thought you have to look a certain way if you want people to take you seriously. Unfortunately, there is some truth to that. Like I guarantee you, if I was like 80 kilos and, was still providing exactly the same high quality education each week, I just know that it wouldn't be as well received. So there is an element of that, but I have had to tell myself and kind of create like my own mantra or an affirmation to repeat to myself like over and over and over again so that I don't believe it. Because, so many of these things like your weight being tied to how much fun I'm going to have on the weekend with my friends, or if I'm not this weight, I won't have fun or I won't be happy. That is a garbage narrative. It is simply not true. So a couple of my mantras, I guess, over the time where I was going through a building phase and getting to a weight where no, I wasn't 100% comfortable, but I knew it was part of the process to building the muscle that I wanted. I would write to myself, and I had on my mirror in my bedroom, in my bathroom, your weight does not get to dictate your happiness. And your weight on the scale does not determine whether you are worthy or not. You are worthy. So, in those moments of self-doubt or fearing, seeing that number go up like it did, after eating way too many candies on Easter, I had to bring that back out in full force. And even on Monday, I think the day after Easter, I still really struggled. And it was almost like for me, my history has been in response to stress or anxiety. The old Holly used food as a coping tool, which completely counteracts or contradicts my goal of, maintaining like a healthy, happy, good mental health. So I ended up having a couple of more picking at Easter eggs, and they're so dense. And unfortunately, in that same week, we had a heap, I ordered a bunch of the giant cookies and some edible dough after Teresa's show. But after kind of chatting and talking to her about how she came in with her show, we were like, probably not a good idea to have those because we need to do some more work. She had to get a bit leaner. So I had all these things in my fridge at home in the refrigerator, and it was like there was so many options. It was almost overwhelming. So I definitely picked at them, and I drastically underestimated the calorie intake of one of them because I had two different brands, and one of them weighed this, which I had put on the scale, and I assumed wrongly that the other one would weigh the same from the other company, and it was about double. So I had half of one of those cookies and logged it as the lighter one. And it turned out I had at least 700 calories more, like a couple of days in a row. So my weight was like shooting up early in the week. And again, it was like we just had the Easter moment, then the cookie moment and the edible dough moment. And I was like, just breathe. Like, you've got this. It's gonna be okay. So yeah, there's a lot of inner thinking going on last week after Easter. But I didn't drop back into dieting. I just got back on my targets and I had an okay week. So on that note, I will do my check-in. I'm actually going to check in a day early today, and I haven't looked at any of my stats. So first off, let's go and have a look at my weight because I think that is important to put this all together. So Easter was Sunday. I haven't got a weigh in there, and I haven't got a weigh in on Monday either. I was just like, that's not going to be good for you. This is not a good decision. Let's wait. We don't need to stoke the fire anymore. Let's just hold off until you've had a couple of days to kind of gather yourself. So even weighing in on Tuesday, you can see my weight was still up at 69.4. Wednesday it went up to 69.9, and that was after making the tracking error with the cookies. And then it starts to trend back down. So today is the first day I've checked in my weight since last week. and I'm finally back down to 68.8. So I didn't cut my calories, I didn't change my settings. I was just like, take your time. It will come back down. Like, I don't want you going through this like ping pong with my calories, which is just like binge restrict. It's just not a good place to be. So that's what I did. And finally, my weight has come back down. So I am happy about that. But also kind of just recognizing like those things are going to happen. And it's important not to overreact to them. So protein, as always, you can see that that's pretty consistent most days. Easter Sunday was the really high overall day. Just ate a lot of everything, really. So 192 grams of protein. That's crazy. 166, 152, 153, 158, 132, and then 140 yesterday. It's a bit naughty of me. Maybe I didn't track something. Anyway, so that's my my last 7 days of protein intake. So pretty consistent. Let me go to carbohydrate. So my average this week has been 172, which isn't too bad. It's kind of fluctuating, which is pretty standard for me. Go and have a look at fats. I just want to show you Easter Sunday. Saturday was actually worse for fats, 119 grams. It's crazy. 79. Oh, that's because we went out for dinner. Yeah, that was when we were in Orlando. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of bouncing all over the place, but overall, my calories is what's most important and my protein. So let's go and have a look at my check-in. So I'm going to check in a day early today. Again, just wanted to point out, you can see there my goal weight just to maintain is 68, and we've got that buffer of a kilo. So 67.5 up to 68.5. Today's weight is outside that. My weekly average is outside that. So if I was to be compliant, the coach would be giving me a calorie drop, but I don't think that I am. So we'll check in early. Yes, I would like to check in early. Oh, damn, maybe I am. Okay, so where are you compliant to your macro targets? 1752. So it's telling me I'm within the range, but I do want to point out the day hasn't ended yet. So it's looking at today's calories, and I've only had one meal today. It was giant, but it's beside the point. I haven't hit my targets today. So knowing that I'm still going to continue to go up in calories, I'm not going to mark compliant. Technically, I should probably wait until the end of the day to see what I'm going to be at, but I already know I'm going to exceed. So calories are going to be over, but overall, my protein looks pretty good. It's just below. Sorry, I'm lying to you. 141, but again, I haven't eaten all my protein for today. But carbs is already over and fats is already over. So I'm going to mark no, because I know that my tracking is not yet complete for the week. So my weight today was 68.8. Body fat was 14.8. Not close to my menstrual cycle. Does everything look okay? Yes. Doing science. Cool. So as always, I wasn't compliant. So my calorie targets are going to stay the same this week. So 1732. Oh, I wish I had more calories. Anyways, I probably should start a reverse diet. That's a really good, a segue into why I reverse dieting. I probably should soon. So that was my check-in. I hope that I do have a better week. You know, the weeks we have the kids is always a little bit more stressful. So we get the kiddos today. And again, I think it's just like trying not to have an abundance of things around me right now seems like a sensible thing to do. So we kind of handed over all the Easter eggs to the kids' mum on Easter Sunday. I was like, you can have them. And then just not having too many, little snacky things at the moment, because I feel like I am in this difficult, overly stressed place, and I really have to practice, some of those old behaviors a little bit more rigorously than before Christmas. So we'll see how I go. But I think that's probably all for this week. I know I talked a lot. But guys, if you have any questions or if you can relate to anything that I'm talking about and you have got questions of your own, like I said, I'm always on here checking and going through all of the comments, and I do try to respond with as much detail as I can. So thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, don't forget about the clothing range and the 1-year anniversary. If you are currently a subscriber of Carbon Diet Coach, we would love to see your entries to go into the draw to 10 lifetime subscriptions. But until then, I will see you at my next check-in. Catch you guys.